Hey, it's Brandon Love from the Canadian Mortgage Guide, and maybe you're a student who's returned home to your parents' house after finishing college or university, or you're a parent listening to this video. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you why you should be paying your parents' rent, and by the end, you'll understand why you'll be happy to do so. So let's dive right into it. Okay, so here's the scenario. You can see here me as a young gun graduating from McGill University. And like many of you, I went home with the intention of earning as much money as I could, living there in the meantime and keeping my bills low and kind of forging ahead for the next step, finding that job, getting a home, all the goals we look for. And this is the dream. We all want to have this house. We all want to move on from our parents' house and achieve home ownership. But it's no mystery to anyone that in the Canadian market, this is quite a complex task and it's a tall order to come up with those funds. So the problem that I see is, you move home, you get your summer job, maybe you get your first career started if you're lucky, and your parents don't charge you rent, you don't pay for groceries, you have no strategy for savings, and you spend a lot of money on frivolous things. I know I spent a lot of money going out for beers with my buddies, buying stupid clothing items, taking trips that I couldn't necessarily afford if I were out on my own, but having the roof over my head and the luxury of being safe at home really afforded me these luxuries that I didn't necessarily need. The other key piece here is that it doesn't prepare you for the realities of the real world. Once you do find that house, in addition to the costs of running a household like your hydro and other water bills and any repairs you might need, you're going to have a mortgage payment each month where a certain amount is allocated to principal and a certain amount is allocated to interest. So, while parents out there feel like they're doing us a service, and we're certainly grateful for it, it really doesn't set us up for long-term success and it forces us to learn lessons the hard way. So here's my solution, and I think it's going to work out wonderfully for you. So stick around. Take a number that works for you based on the amount of income you earn and a reasonable rent in the area, and then apply the Pareto principle or 80-20 rule. So let's take a number of $1,000 a month. Let's say 20% of that goes to your parents. It covers utilities, it covers some form of quote unquote rent. Really, it's just there as a buffer, and it is reflective of the interest portion of a loan that you would pay. The other $800 represents a forced savings, and that goes in another account. Some recommendations there would be a first home savings account, an RRSP. Start with those, and then if you've already maxed those out with other resources, then go to your high interest savings account. Like I mentioned, that $1,000, 200 goes to cover the basics, 800 goes to the savings account. Okay, so pretty crystal clear there. What we're trying to do is establish this pattern where a certain amount is going to be lost per se to the interest that's paid out, but a certain amount is reflective of the principal that you would pay down on a regular mortgage payment. So how it shakes out is quite nice. So $1,000 costs, 800 to force savings. Now put this on a 3-year time horizon. Let's say when I finished university, I was 21 years old. This time horizon would put me to age 24. And so looking at it, you have 36 months in that 3-year window. So $1,000 a month equals $36,000. Of that, $7,200 is going to go to the operational costs. The remaining 28,800 goes in as forced savings for you. So that goes into the first home savings account, RSP, whatever you designate. The beauty of that is you'll get some tax benefits there, and the interest will also grow and accrue within those accounts. This is how it works out wonderfully. So I can tell you that after 3 years, when I was 24, I did not have the money set aside for a down payment. I did not have this savings set up. I still actually had my student loan there that was sitting around because I just wasn't deploying my funds properly. But if you did this and followed the strategy, you would have $28,800. And that's enough to put a 5% down payment on a $500,000 home, as well as have funds for the closing costs. And a lot of borrowers might say, okay, well, maybe I won't qualify for a $500,000 home, or maybe I need more. Well, in the process of doing this, you as a parent or you as the child will also be proving that you can stick to a savings plan. And that establishes some credibility with you as partners as well. So it gives a bit of confidence if a parent were to step in as a cosigner, to give you the little extra bit you need. So ultimately, it's a win for you, the child. You get a home at the end of the day. And for the parent, you've taught your kid a valuable lesson that can be learned in a challenging world, and you've set them up for long term success. So, you remember that $7,200 you collected? Maybe you needed it, and by all means, you've earned it. So, keep it if you're the parent. But you could also give this to your child to increase the size of their down payment and have a smaller mortgage, or you could help them offset some of the closing costs that way as well. So it's a fun way to give back. After all, they did follow your plan and stick to your beautiful strategy. If you have questions about this or you want to see how it plays out for your scenario, maybe your goal is a $750,000 home and you want to reverse engineer that, book a call with myself and Tom. We'll map out this strategy for you and set up long term success for you. If you enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe. We're going to share lots more mortgage knowledge with you to make sure you earn the most, pay the least, and have your happiest journey as a Canadian homeowner. Have an awesome day.